Yeah. Oh, it's 11:59? That must not be an atomic clock up there, huh? Must not be one of those atomic clocks. Always off.
Melissa would never be late.
Never. Except for that first day.
You're in charge. It's entirely up to you. Better do that.
Laughing with you.
Almost as thrilling as a P3 document.
All the agenda, Mark.
You mark it off.
There's actually an agenda.
Here, let me help you. All right, we ready? Yep. All right. Call to order the Wednesday, January 4th, West Fargo City Commission meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, first item is approve the order of agenda. We've got one addition. General Haugen is going to have a presentation for us.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next item is approval minutes from the December 19th, 2016 meeting.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, building permits.
Another solid year.
Very good year.
Thing I look at is the 613, I guess you want to say, dwelling units. What the average dwelling has. Residents.
Real good.
Sure. It keeps growing.
Perfect. All right, consent agenda. Only one item on there.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
On to the regular agenda. 9th Street East and 13th Avenue project. Chris and Dustin.
What's in front of you today is to review the environmental document for the 9th Street and 13th Avenue project. This is the document that through the National Environmental Protection Act, Policy Act, excuse me, they require this to be completed for use of any federal funds on any of our projects. It goes through, it's called an environmental document, and it investigates any impacts that may arise to the physical environment, to any type of economic activity, to residents, to disadvantaged employment, or all these different things. There's numerous categories that they go through and they review. They send out a solicitation of views letters to about 100 people asking for their impact, their input on this project. We conduct a public input meeting to evaluate this project as it's socially acceptable or not. So in summary, went through all these different projects. We had a public meeting. We presented the project, which is basically putting double left turn lanes at every at the 13th 9th Street intersection for each direction, extending a northbound turn lane, a through lane all the way to the high school. And we're going to be doing some water and sewer improvements underneath when we're having this open. Some of the biggest comments, I think Dustin can probably attest to those, are more about the detouring and how we're going to handle traffic and those impacts to the businesses during construction. I want to fill on that?
Yeah, I pulled up the detour map here. So we were able to put some of the concerns at ease regarding the construction and access concerns, things like that. as we are going to leave the north-south route open during construction so that, similar to what we've done with Main Avenue, you know, traffic will be slowed up. There'll be a work zone, but we are going to have at least access throughout construction going north-south. We will establish a detour around, as you can see by the yellow lines here. But again, we were able to inform the businesses that access to their properties during construction will be available. Another comment they made was to put up wayfinding signs. Again, we've done that with like a Main Avenue project. Some of those things are relatively easy to accommodate. Another concern that was brought up that is a little more challenging to address in favor of their concern is the access control on Prairie Parkway, which is the driveway into Family Fair and the access into the old Premier Video. Right now we're proposing to put in a 3/4 access, predominantly to improve safety concerns out there. So the 3/4 access is going to allow the ability to get into their properties from any direction, but you will not be able to take a left-bound turn out of the properties. So coming out of Family Fair, if you want to go south, they're going to have to learn to either go to 12th Avenue, which is unsignalized, or go to 14th, which is signalized. And similar to Prairie Parkway, if you want to come out and take a northbound turn, they're going to have to network through the other local streets. Again, that was predominantly one of the bigger concerns that arose at our public input meeting. Some other concerns that were brought up were things like pedestrian safety during construction and even after construction. As you can see here, it's difficult, but we are planning to, with the expansion of this road, we are going to lose some of our boulevard width that we've had, and so now there'll be more areas where the sidewalk will be right up against the curb. And it's a 10-foot path, so there's some wiggle room there, but again, there's an inherent concern with safety when we have to do that. But again, there's not a whole lot of option there. We have to widen the road out to get the added capacity at the intersection, which within a limited right-of-way and everything's built up around there, we don't have much choice to keep a boulevard or you know, a free zone there between the bike path and the curb. So we have responded to some of those concerns within this document. The DOT will be reviewing this document. Again, I think at the end of the day, what we are looking for from the commission today is to authorize us to send this document to the DOT and then also acknowledge a preferred alternative, which is shown on page 6 there. There's basically two alternatives. One is a no build, and the other one is to expand the roadway to allow for the dual turn lanes. So pretty simple, whereas in Main Avenue, the decision document there was relatively lengthy in that we had several decisions and options to make. So at that point, I'll stop rambling.
Dustin, there's just no way that we can have anybody coming out of a Family Fair and heading south. There's no option there whatsoever to make that happen for those people.
The option that Chris, well, they asked outright, can we put a signal there? Can we put a traffic signal there and still have the safety of that intersection function, which Chris did respond at the meeting that we were going to look into that. Chris made it clear that it's unlikely, but it's something that we can look into. We haven't done that yet, but it's something that we will look into. I don't know, Chris, if you want to evaluate or elaborate on that.
I mean, basically, if we're able to put a signal there, we will. We can coordinate the two together so when north-south is operating on 13th Avenue, it'd also be green at north-south there. It's getting very close that sometimes that stacking may be coming back up into that intersection and possibly blocking that intersection. Same way it does down on 14th. It's a tough call.
When you say, when you say look into it, are you going to look into it after the project is over? I mean, wouldn't this be the time to
we're
look
going to
into
be
it?
counting that intersection and seeing if it meets that minimum requirements for the number
But
of
what we're
vehicles.
sending, what you want us to send forward today, your preferred option doesn't have this in it, right?
Correct, but we can change that as we go forward.
Okay.
Probably be an expense on our part.
It'd be
anyway,
expense on
whatever
our
we do.
part.
Right, it'd be
but
local anyway, I'm sure, so.
We're well overmatched on this.
Maybe it can't even happen, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just, I know
It's-
there's a lot of businesses that are concerned about that.
And it is a tough intersection, though. And now we're going to have 2 lanes going north,
Yeah.
and any car trying to take a left now is going to,
You'll be able to get
Widens
out of
the
there, you
chance for an
guys.
accident.
Once we open that up with more lanes, you'd
Right.
never be able to turn
Unless there was
left.
an intersection there, unless
Well,
it was.
there's
light.
a light, right.
Number of gaps, you're correct. Number of gaps to be in there when you have those right turners, left turners coming off 13th, the people going north-south. It's just going to be magnified what's there today.
And it's almost impossible today to get through there.
It really,
So
truly
there's
is.
no
When you hit
question.
that peak
There would
hour,
have to
it's
be a light or else
dangerous.
it couldn't happen. That was my question, if, at least look into it.
It's an outside chance. I really seriously doubt it. There's just that outside chance. We have to do some coordination, just get out there and get that counted. It's a 16-hour count. We have to be out there with the count boards.
so as we widen 9th Street north, everything will be widened on the east side of the road.
Yes,
So south will not, we're not going into the residential side. We're just staying on the
we're
commercial side.
moving everything to the east. Correct. One thing to add on to the pedestrian thing, the gas station on the northeast corner there is willing to shrink their boulevard to the maximum amount or minimum amount that they need to keep that drive-through aisle to go around and circulate, and they're willing to give that additional property to us. Well, I shouldn't say give us, but they'll willing to sell it to us so we can actually, put a wider bike path there to get that separation away from 9th Street.
Would that be from the street to their car wash, you mean,
Correct.
building there?
Correct.
They don't
They're
really,
willing to give that up, huh?
they don't have a whole lot now.
They say as long as they can keep that circulation, so they can still drive their
still drive
cars.
there.
Still be enough
I can
room
still
to-
drive around that.
Car,
I mean, so it might only mast a couple feet, but if we can get a couple feet in there, it's all the better.
Okay.
So, but if we move to, if you have any more questions?
I just wanted to clarify one thing. Commissioner Simmons' question. We are planning to bid this, I believe the DOT's bid letting date would be April 9th, give or take a week there. We would have to resolve this prior to February 15th, middle of February. So we will do that traffic count and get resolution on that prior to the middle of February. We got about 4 weeks.
Okay, I honestly agree. I don't think it can happen, but I think we owe those businesses the opportunity to try.
Exactly. Fair, honest.
We owe them that much. I mean, they've been there a long time, so.
So, on page 6, there's basically 2 questions and an area for comments. So the first question is do you agree with the concepts that are proposed in this document? So it's basically, it went through everything in the document, and do you have anything issues with? I mean, the big things that we found going through there was we did a noise analysis and does not reach the significant impact to abate any noises going out there, and with some pedestrian issues. So basically, there are no negative impacts for this project. So it's just asking if you agree with the findings of the study. And the second question is which alternatives to proceed with, which is alternative A is do nothing, the no build, and alternative B is the proposed alternative, is build what's proposed. And under comments, I would suggest that we add in there the comment about evaluate a signal light at Prairie Parkway. That way it's addressed in the document, and the DOT can't come back and say that wasn't in the document, we can't build.
Right, good.
And you do have a public meeting coming up again.
On Monday at 5 to 7, is it in the training rooms again?
We haven't coordinated that, but
It'll be here at City Hall.
Any other questions?
You need a motion on that?
Yes.
Make that motion?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Next item on the agenda, General Haugen.
Thank you. I'm here to represent the employer support of the Garden Reserve. A lot of people don't know what that is. It's ESGR is a Department of Defense organization that relies on a bunch of us volunteers to do their work. Sometimes think the Department of Defense should have more volunteers, but the state has a committee, and the state committee gives out state awards, and one of the awards this year is going to the West Fargo Police Department. It's called an Above and Beyond Award, and it recognizes the West Fargo police force and all of the guard personnel and their supervisors, and the fact that their supervisors are guard-friendly, reserve-friendly, and help them in doing not only their job as officers, but as members of the Guard and Reserve. So the first one I'd like to present is to the chief, and that's Above and Beyond Award to Mike. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes, we have.
Thank you, sir.
And the next is an individual award. One of your officers, Joe Solberg, nominated Jason Dura for a Patriotic Employer Award. And he had to submit that to the state, and then it was reviewed. And so it's great to see a guardsman nominating his boss and saying, you know, I consider him a real patriot. So this is for Jason. Thank you.
Thank you, General.
And there are also national level awards too, and they're really difficult to get. But we're going to. You have a great foundation with your department to maybe be looked at in the future for one of those national awards too. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ina, do you have anything?
Nope, you've already been reminded of the meeting, public hearing if you're interested in coming on January 9th for 13th Avenue. Other than that, we've just been working on different lists. We'll be with Dustin, I'll be meeting with John coming up here very shortly to work on adjusting our engineering agreement and getting goals and order, but otherwise we're just organizing and getting ready for the new year.
Yeah, good. One is that some of you probably already know, but the DOT concurred with our Cheyenne Street modified single point urban interchange. Great deal. It's going to be the first one in the state, and that's a good step. And I've got a preliminary report from Bob Walton stating that they've justified one single light on Main Avenue at 15th Street. So this has to be kicked up to the Director of Engineering for their approval, and it seems like I'll get one out there by was a Caterpillar and those guys.
Good.
Good. All right. Guess we're done then.
Motion to approve, or to, we do?
Adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
Got the word right away. Adjourn, adjourn.